Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. See you all coming in the door. Hi, Elaine. How Tamar? Hi, Renee. Oh, Renee, you're here. I wasn't sure if you were going to come or not. Hooray. Welcome, everyone. As you know, it's been a while since we've been together. And so, let's do some of the things that we love to do together. And one is let us know where you're watching from today. Drop a note. And I will definitely read and share where you're watching from. So head on over to the chat and let us know where you're watching from today. I'm loving seeing you all come in. Welcome, welcome. LA, Torrance, Upland. Oh, I love it. Oh, hi, Rhonda. So great to see you. Let me go to. How's everyone doing today? It's so great to be back. I can't believe that tomorrow is Q4. Can anyone else? I am a little bit in shock about that. I mean, I know that with the advent of technology that our lives feel like we're moving so much faster than we ever have before, but I still am a little blindsided by the fact tomorrow is October 1st. Woo, woo. Oh, let's see. Hello, Donnell. Hello, Claudia. Hi, Kathy. Oh my goodness. So wonderful to see everyone. When you are dropping notes in the webinar chat, make sure that you choose grab the little blue box and choose everyone so that the world can see what you're sharing. For those of you who are just getting here, we love to know where you're watching from today. So drop a little comment in there. If you are on Instagram, drop your Instagram link so that we can all get connected there because, of course, we love to support one another inside the community and out there in the real wide world. It has been a hot minute since we've been together. If you've been up to something really exciting, if you've got a passion project that you started, or you've got something that you want to share with us, maybe you launched a new business or wrote a book, or maybe it's a new blog that you started, drop a link and feel free to share it with the community as well. We love to get connected with you on all of those things. Oh, thanks, Elaine, for dropping your Instagram. That's so amazing. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name's Deborah Trapin. I am flying solo today. Sarah is in meetings at the California Association of Realtors, and Ms. Leslie is with family out in Atlanta. We have all sorts of amazing things planned for Q4. And so I am here with all of you to really kick off the stepping into that new quarter ahead of us, these final 3 months of the year. However, before we do that, one of the things that we love to honor and respect and really highlight our time together. And so many of you who are here today were not able to attend the live conference that we held earlier this month. We were together 1 month ago. It's hard to believe that it was already a month ago. Regardless of if you were there in person or not, this time together is going to be so amazing because we have attendees, our wave makers, some of our sponsors who are going to be joining us throughout the show today to share their key aha moments, those pearls of wisdom that the leaders who joined us on stage, whether it was on the main stage during the general sessions or if they were sharing their wisdom during the circle ups, they are going to pop in today and they're going to share what their favorite piece or pieces of it wisdom were and what action they were inspired to take. I mean, that is at the heart of WomanUP, right? WomanUP. We are an adjective. We are an action-based community. And so we're going to be sharing a lot of those today. So grab your notebook, open up your note-taking app because there is going to be so much information shared today, whether it's quotes that are going to inspire you, links to resources that our community has to share, or simply just sit and soak in all of the energy as we put and close on Q3 and step into Q4, into a very powerful season where most of us in October, November, and December are going to be surrounded not only by the folks that we serve with, so charitable organizations or organized real estate. We all come together so much in October and November in particular. And then, of course, the end of November through the end of the year, we're with our family and our beloveds. So there's so much time where we are going to be pouring into others that we want you to pull up a chair and share time with us today. Okay, so for those of you who are here who said, yes, oh yes, I want to share, come on up. Oh, I see Pam is here. I see Rhonda is here. Bettina Powers in the house. Bettina, let us know if you want to hop up onto the virtual stage and join us. I just want everyone to come on up at the same time. For those of you who did say yes, just raise your little virtual hand down at the bottom where it says raise hand. And Melanie, my divine co-host who is off screen today, will add all of you. And we're just going to start round robining. We're going to start just sharing that information. So come on up. Don't be shy. Oh, I see hands. I think I see you coming on up. Oh, Claudia. All right, ladies, come on in, come on in. Yay. Oh, yay. Perfect. Oh, Pam's in the car. Oh, her car's moving. We're going to talk to somebody who's not driving. Wait until you stop. All right, go ahead and let's see. How about Claudia? Let's start with you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and everyone else who's joining in, feel free to hop in along the way. Don't wait for permission to speak, but I will call on you to share your wisdom. But if Claudia says something that inspires you, feel free to jump in. You know how we like to do it here, right? All right, Claudia, welcome.
How are you guys? Happy Friday.
Happy Fierce Female Friday.
Wow. Yeah. Happy day. I was just inspired by all the amazing women that were up there. To me, my takeaway was just looking at all the diversity in the room. It pretty much brought my attention, and I do want to highlight Miss Bettina Powers that's here. That's listening to us. Her story to me was amazing. Just the strength of the motherly strength that she got, having to find what her strength was, which was her voice. How she always mentioned her voice is very strong. And sometimes we get to probably doubt ourselves why, anything that we doubt ourselves, we sometimes don't know what the energy in the future has for us. And I think that sometimes we end up finding out through going through a hardship or a triumph, and finding what your true value and strength is. So to me, so there are so many takeaways, and we're going to share and pick up off each other and learn as well. But to me, when I heard her story, it really did, it was a huge calling for me, because I am a mother and I know the feeling of, number one, when you have children, you do whatever it is and you put your life first, to just be there for your children and take care of them. And to me, that was one of them. So I'll let anyone else in the room go on as well.
And well done, Claudia. If I can say, first of all, Deborah, to you and your staff, what an amazing time, what an amazing event. And I just felt like we were cared for from when we stood there at the reception and checked in to when we left. So thank you to all of you and the hard work that you put in this to make us feel special, to make us feel safe. And I just can't tell you how much I miss all you ladies here. So I'm happy to be here. Happy.
I love that. I love that. Before you go on, Melanie, I know you're off camera, but that was to you and to Fatima and to Andrew and to Alma. We love you. Thank you so much for loving on all of us there. Yeah. All right, roll with it, Renee. What do you got?
Well, what I learned, I can't say that there was one individual. Everyone's so powerful. And what I really did take away from this is that our pain is our ministry. We might have this pain in our life, like Claudia says, we all have stuff, right? You can't get to be this age without having stuff. And the world will tell us, keep your mouth shut. You can't talk about it. but our pain helps another person, like they can survive because we are a living example that we have overcome. And we can't keep that stuff to ourselves. Everyone on that stage had a story, had pain. Someone who said, I lived like this, I was in my car, but look at me now. And we want to be quiet in silence and not share. And I know from my faith, I understand that there is somebody who wants to keep you quiet, so you keep it to yourself. But in sharing, you take that away. You empower yourself. You don't give power to that thing that says, be quiet, don't talk about it. Because that in itself, sharing, you light the path for someone else to share and for someone else to find out that there is hope. So thank you to everyone who was so authentic and who shared their stories, because you gave other people in that room hope. So thank you.
I love that. Our pain is our ministry. Wow, that's powerful. That is so powerful. Okay, Pam, oh, go ahead. Pam, I see that you were pulled over.
I am. I've
I can
stopped.
hear you. Yes. Yay. Yay.
Yeah. I just came down off the mountain again, so I was looking for some reception. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be with all of you. I can't tell you over the last month how many moments, so many of you have just like popped into my consciousness. Just words that you spoke, things that we shared in confidence and in groups. So thank you, and thank you to the entire group that put that conference on. I mean, talk about an amazing experience. Amazing. So for me, there were specific people that kept coming back to me. Bertina was one of them. She and I had an amazing conversation at dinner one night. Amy, who spoke, who was in prison and was selling real estate without a car. So many people inspired me, but the big theme that thread through it all was this untapped power, and the limitless potential we have when we allow our thoughts and imagination to be really unleashed and become unlimited. And so I feel like when I've thought of you women, I've just like plugged my little fingers into this electrical socket and gotten this extra surge of power. And it's just, I think I'm seeing in myself, I look at myself, generally speaking, as somebody who takes a lot of risks, who does things differently. And honestly, after the conference, I'm hearing more and more of the limiting thoughts in my head that I was unaware of. And so thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. And it was interesting because I spoke about delegation, and I'm like, who am I to speak about delegation? But this whole idea of having limiting thoughts and limiting my imagination, what I'm finding now is that when I'm thinking more and more about my power, the way I'm tapping into that is by delegating more. I mean, I've given so much crap away to other people since the conference. It's been incredibly empowering. So yeah, so that's been my big takeaway, just this untapped power that we all have. And I saw it all in you, and people say we can't choose our reflections, so thank you.
That's so beautiful. I loved the fact that you're delegating more, especially because of the conversation that you and I kind of had before, because you had shared your story and we put you on a panel that was about this idea of saying, giving your best yes. And you were like, I'm not sure how my story is going to fit in here. I'm going with the flow. And now it never ceases to amaze me and always delights me that where everyone is planted on the agenda is exactly where they needed to be. And it's everything from our moderators, our panelists, our wave makers who are emceeing. It's like it gives me chills just thinking about this, how it all flows and connects together. So I really appreciate you sharing that, Pam. Okay, let's see. Next on my screen is Natalie. Natalie. So for all of you who have joined us just recently, the two questions I'm asking everyone is what it was your favorite piece or pieces of wisdom that were shared at the conference. Now it could be from the main stage or the circle up sessions. And then what is an action you were inspired to take due to that wisdom? So you're up, Natalie.
All right. Well, everybody who's gone to a conference or an event knows that some of the best magic happens in the halls or at the dinners or behind the scenes. And I felt like WomanUP really fostered that feeling of having those circle ups. That was something that was really just empowering for people. And as the wave maker, I was going around to the different groups and checking on everybody, making sure everybody was okay, which was the most fabulous thing for me because I got to hear all these little conversations in each of the groups. And I felt like a lot of the theme that kept coming up was the authentic self, being your authentic self, and making sure that your clients, the people you work with, see who you really are, that you're not two separate people. And that was really important. Molly spoke on that in her Circle Up group quite a bit. And I thought that was, really, really neat that we can give ourselves that that authority to be able to be vulnerable. But vulnerability is part of that, like being vulnerable to let people know what we need, when we need it, and what we can help with too is super important in our lives. And I think that we as women sometimes try to be the tough, strong, I got this, don't worry, I'm not going to cry about it, I'll handle it later, stuff it all in sort of feeling. And sometimes it's okay to say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. You know what? Give me about 5 minutes. I'll come back to you on that. So knowing where your limits are, where your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, was something that I took away. And I wrote down something that Sarah said, and it was, we're in service with each other, and letting people know our strengths and what we need their help with will make us all stronger. So that was something that I saved and have on my computer, so that it's okay to ask other people too, how can I serve you? How can I help you? Sometimes they aren't willing to say it, and it's okay to ask.
I love that. Has that shown up in your world in the last 30 days? Like, have you asked for help where you normally wouldn't have?
Yes, actually, I have more than I care to probably admit, but a lot, yes. And asked other people, how can I help you? So it just made it be a little bit more, forward thinking for me to make sure that I'm asking for myself for help. I'm a yes person, so I like to say yes to things, and I'm also learning not to be a yes hog, so that I'm making room for the things that really are most important, instead of just saying, okay, fine, I'll help. Let me know how I can do that for you. So that's been a big thing I've been working on.
Oh, I love that. Something I know we've talked about a couple of times on the show over the last 6 years is that is kind of an epidemic for women, right? We say yes because we want to people please. And one of my favorite responses to that is when we're not giving our best yes, we're actually giving someone else's best yes. So when we think about this path and journey that we're on, the pause that you talked about, Natalie, is so incredibly important. And when we come back and we're inspired to say yes, even when our whole soul and body is like, don't do it, we can say, let me think about who I know who would be the perfect fit. And then you are serving everyone at your highest and best. That's such a great reminder, right? Like, love everyone, including the one that you might be snagging their best yes. Love them enough to say no.
I love that. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, next on my screen is Annette. Annette, what do you have going on over there? Your beautiful background as always.
I have so many things that inspire me in this room because I spend a lot of time in this room, whether it's conference calls, emails, trainings, right? So a lot of my world is in this room, but I got to tell you, I go to a lot of conferences, and this was the only one where when I walked in, it was beautiful. Like I felt like this was for women, right? It's not just a regular conference where it's an industry conference and you just try to figure out where you fit in. it was beautiful from just the touches, the venue was gorgeous. Just all the signs and just how I felt when I came in as an attendee was just amazing. It was beautiful. And the one constant throughout the event, this is a big one, is that every woman that talked on stage thanked another woman mentor. That was constant throughout the entire event. That was just amazing. So the biggest takeaway for me is I went back to my notes, from the Paseo Hotel, pad of paper. And one thing that really spoke out to me, and go back if you haven't already, for all the wave makers, go back to all your collateral that you received. And one of the things that I received was, it was one of the cards that was on the chairs. Remember when you walked in, as a beautiful black envelope with the WomanUP sticker, opened it up. Well, there's a QR code on there. And I scanned the QR code yesterday. And the QR code is so that you could be part of, the visionary list for 2023 of all events that are happening. So I immediately scanned it and I reached out to Deborah. I said, hey, I know so many people from my posts at WomanUP who say, how do I get involved? How do I learn more? And not just at Exit, but everywhere, different brands who know, like, and trust me. And when they see me at an event, they're like, tell me more about that event because I want to go there next time. So I asked her if I could share the QR code and she said, absolutely. So I encourage you to go back to the collateral and anything that's shareable. There are so many deserving women that weren't at this event that should be at the next one. And those are like the next leaders, right? That have amazing stories that I think that was a huge takeaway for me. And I have many people who thanked, even personal messages, for just posting a QR code and letting them know that, yes, there's a way to get involved. Yeah. So it was awesome.
I love that. I love that the first thing you said was the thankful nature. When women are on stage and they're sharing their story, they're thanking others. This might make me cry a little bit. One of the things that breaks my heart is when I hear the stories of the very loud stories that get shared a lot about how, quote, women don't support each other. Right. I mean, that is a mantra that the media likes to repeat, and that many of us have. Shame off of us for doing it, because when we're hurt, we tend to tell those stories, right? But one of the prayers as I walked through that room, and one of the things that many of you probably don't know that happens before you get there, is I walk through the room and I bless each chair, right? It's like, bless the soul that's going to sit in this chair. May everything that they need to hear be loud and clear, right? But that they can also walk out of this room believing that the sisterhood and just the soulhood of that room, right? That we're all there to serve each other and to support each other. I'm so thankful that came through to you, Annette, and that it was something that was so beautiful that it made it to your top list, right? That we do appreciate each other, that there are humans who don't support us along the way, but you know what? That's okay. We just got to let those people go. We don't need to keep them in our inner circle. We can let them go. That's so beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Let me ask you one quick thing. Besides sharing the visionary QR code, what is something that you have done in the last 30 days that you were like, oh my gosh, this is totally a WomanUP moment right here. I'm doing it.
It's just leading into the people that I've met in person. I mean, this is my first WomanUP conference. So I had never met. I only get to see these wonderful women on social media, like not in real life. And I get to meet them. I got to hug them and I got to talk to them and really hear their stories. And now I'm able to just keep those relationships going. I get to celebrate them even after WomanUP. And when Sabrina was, posting on social media, and I can respond and I can tell her, hey, congratulations, keep it up. Like, we could support each other. And there's so many, Mia had an amazing meeting with her team, and it's just, commenting, hey, they're so lucky to have such a great leader. Like, I genuinely mean that. And now that I've met these beautiful women in person, we can continue to stay connected and support each other until we get to see each other in person next time.
I love that so much. I think that's the power of community, right? Is when we get together, that's only one slice of our journey together. It brings us together, it brings us tighter, it weaves the tapestry closer, but we have all year long in between the conference to really keep connected. And I love that that is something that that you're experiencing for sure. Okay, so next on my screen is Donnell with your fabulous hat on. Look at
Sporting
you
the
go.
hat.
I love it.
I love this hat, and I normally do not wear hats, but I do like this hat. It fits great and it feels good.
Oh, good. I love it. Okay, so the questions, what was your favorite piece or pieces of wisdom that was shared from the stages? And then what's one action you were inspired to take in the last 30 days?
I was just inspired by the rawness, the openness, the real conversations. And sometimes things don't always look pretty, that everything is not perfect in our lives that we're going through. And um to lean into like the things that aren't working and the strengths, and to like really take the time to reflect on where we've come. And I think that's where the strength is. Instead of just talking about how wonderful it is, you never know what someone's going through, and to have compassion and a little bit more patience and slow down, and try to understand where they're coming from, was the biggest takeaway for me. Just it's not often that you're in a room where everybody is so vulnerable and so open and so honest, and there's a lesson to be learned in that, because that in itself is motivation.
Ooh, I love that. And it is safe to be vulnerable when you're with the humans you're meant to do life with, right?
Right.
And I think that it's a great reminder that if we don't feel safe, that it's time to assess who we're with,
Yeah.
what room we're in. Yeah,
Right.
that's so beautiful. I love that. How about your action? What have you been inspired to do in
So
the last 30?
more like plugging into myself, instead of trying to meet all the deadlines, everything that has to be done, making more time. And Pam really helped with that with yoga, because I used to do yoga daily. I had a practice for about 5 years where I was doing yoga daily, and I've stepped far away from that. So having a little bit of beach yoga helped motivate that. And now just making, even if you only have like 10 or 15 minutes to move around, or if there's frustration building up in the day, it's okay to go for a walk around the block and just kind of get back into the breath and like in the moment, instead of always constantly like, what needs to be done? How should I be handling that? So I think my takeaway is allowing those moments just for self.
Oh, Pam, you feel that? Oh, yay. Yeah. Women taking time to be and stepping out of the do all the time is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Embracing that. I was watching a woman on Instagram, and she was talking about the divine feminine energy in all of us, and how it is this beautiful, receptive, flowing state of being, and how so many of us who've stepped into business have embraced more of that masculine energy, the plan, the do, the strategize, the go, 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 and how there is such a shift, because more of us are gathering together again and stepping into the flow together. And it's beautiful to see that manifested. So beautiful to see that manifested. Okay, let's see. I have, Rhonda, would you please grab the mic?
Absolutely. So authenticity was such a huge theme throughout the whole program. And honestly, just having a moment to be able to hear everyone's story, and for a brief moment see the world through their eyes, through their struggles, through the things that they've overcome, was absolutely just mind-blowing. And then to put the cherry on top at the very end with Alicia's story, I mean, I think anybody that attended those sessions, you walk away changed. You walk away a better version of yourself, because you've had a moment to lock hearts with another woman and see the world through her eyes, and how she just pushed through. So for me, I think I gained wisdom from every single woman that I heard, women that I was able to sit at the table and have lunch with, the generosity that was given through the dinners. And then now to see so many of these women that I got to hear take it to the next step. They're speaking at CAR, they're going to be involved as directors, they are leading the charge towards a better profession, and it's absolutely amazing. So I loved everything about it, and I can't wait for the next one.
Mm. What I love about what you just shared is that the authenticity allowed you to see the world through other people's eyes, right? And I think that that's something that as the storytellers, we can forget about because we're so focused on, well, who wants to hear my story, right? Like everyone goes through the same thing I go through. Like, what's so unique about my story? And it's such a great reminder for everyone, not only here in this circle with us in this virtual stage, but everyone who's here listening and gathering around, right? There's so much power in you telling your story because you are allowing everyone in the room to see themselves through your eyes because they're experiencing that. That's so incredibly profound and such an excellent reminder. Ooh, what have you been inspired to do in the last 30 days because of the conference?
Sure. So you said my story right now, which is who would want to hear me speak? Why would I be put in this panel? Like, for the love of God, I have my own little thing, but I'm like this little person. And anyway, so it has provoked me to say yes, to take that next step. And it's crazy because several speaking opportunities presented themselves after that. And I said a brave yes, and I'm doing it.
Like snaps. I just watched Legally Blonde, so I'm all about the snaps again. The snap cup. I love that so much. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And that's manifesting opportunities right there, right?
Yeah.
It's you're open to it, you're putting that energy out and you know, God knows. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's see. Next up on the list is Kama. Oh my goodness, Kama, who has so much going on. Kama.
Don't I? My goodness.
Woo!
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Deborah, I love you. Just you know that. I am excited, still excited about everything that's happened and Woman Up. I'm just still so appreciative of everything that that's come out of it. One of the biggest things that really drew to me is that a couple of my agents were they won for or were awarded the scholarship, and just to see them walking around and excited and in a part of this, it just made me feel so good, and for them to be a part. And one of them, Cynthia, she said, Kama, what I loved about this was that I can do it. She said, just hearing other people's stories let me know that I'm no different than anybody else. And that was just so much, meant a lot to me to see that that she was able to attend and experience those things that I'm able to experience, because I don't think that something like Woman Up should be a best kept secret. And people need to come out and see the vision and see themselves possibly on the stage or see themselves in their own brokerages or leading certain things. And that's what Woman Up does. And of all of the stories, listening to each and every story that was there, you don't know what's happening. And huge hug, cyber hug to you, Pam. Just listening to your story. I'm dealing with some personal things as well. And for you to be there and to be all in, and we didn't see, or you didn't say you were going through, I hope this isn't breaking up and you guys can hear me okay. For you to be in and be engaged, I just want to tell you thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
You guys can still hear me? It's breaking up on my end. Okay. I just want to say thank you, because we are real people going through real life situations, and we need to know and understand that yes, someone may be standing on the stage, but you don't know what they're going home to. So with this particular one gave me was hope, for sure, to let me know I can keep on trucking on. Yes, I have a lot of things going on, but what I've taken back from this is that now I am learning how to delegate so I can go on and push on and do more and help those that are around me so they can be in the positions I'm in and help them grow to higher heights, and knowing that they can do whatever that they put their minds to. Even so, that I have asked all of my agents, we have our business planning for 2023. We're working on our business budget. I told everybody to put WomanUP in their business budget because I want them all to attend with no excuses. They have enough time to get it in order. So my thing is that each one teach one, each one reach one. And that's what it's showing. And those stories, and I'll end with this, the stories were amazing. We see women that are they're dressed, they're made up, they look beautiful, but then they're dealing with things like not having their kids when they want to, or been, incarcerated or on probation or whatever it is. And it just shows that, look, we are real people. We are real people. So I love you all. I love the WomanUP community. I thank you because the opportunities that, because of this, it has afforded me other opportunities. And I'm always going to be a cheerleader for WomanUP. Thank you.
I love that. And I love seeing your passion for bringing the next generation up. I mean, from everything from Loving Me First and that conference. Have you reached the 300 mark yet, comma? Are you close?
No, but today we are at 203. So we are very close and we still have 22 days to go.
Oh, awesome. I love that. And you're reading, you're edifying yourself. We can see your action in every post that you make. So thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for always, giving us these little nuggets. Each one, teach one. I love that. Reach one, teach one, each one, so good. So good. And I love that I heard the word delegate again, because we all know that we do have to let some things go as we move to the next level. So I love hearing that happen. That means all ships are rising, which is a good thing. I love it. Okay, Stacy, you are up. Are you still here with us? Oh yes, I see you. Hi.
I can see you. Can you see me? Hi.
Yes, it's the boxes move around on my side. So Tulsa lady, what is happening with you? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I literally went straight from WomanUP. Literally, like we closed up. I said bye to Kama. Kama was my last bye as she had her cute little Fall Out Boss shirt on. And I'm like, let me get a picture. I get in a packed car, looked like I was homeless, and drove to Tulsa. And it was fun to be on the road and make that new start. But let me tell you, it was the fuel that got me through this this journey was being at the conference first. And, it was, first of all, thank you. I want to say thank you to Sarah and Deborah for allowing Barb and I to take the reins and do the Instagram story during the event, because what that did was that gave me a great excuse to bother each and every one of you and go up and have conversations with everybody. And it was super fun. And I've been going back and looking through things going, oh, that was so much fun. It was so much fun to meet this person, to put the names together with someone you've seen online or people that you thought, I really want to meet them one day. And then they were just there. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So there's
wait, before you go on, let's give a round of applause to that behind the scenes and that social media coverage. I mean, I felt like we had arrived with all of those amazing reels in our stream. That was so good. So thank you so much for all of that work, because I know that is not an easy, relaxing job that you signed up for. But we all appreciated it.
Barb and I enjoy that social butterfly element. And actually, Barb taught me a few things that I am now using in my own little way of doing things. And so I think it's fun when you collaborate with other professionals and then you can kind of glean from one another, like, oh, how did you do that? Or how did you do this? So I really appreciated that opportunity. As far as takeaway moments, I'll tell you what, so many, but I'm going to try to be brief, but okay. First of all, it was amazing to me that I got a chance, like I was sitting in an empty room during a break, and then all of a sudden I just hear this voice say, "Excuse me, you look like you know what's going on here." And I look up and I get to meet Alicia Anderson. And we sat there at the table and we had this great conversation about just the power of, you know, our voice, the power of our intention. And I'm like, "Hey, have you had a chance to meet my friend Danny?" She's like, "Oh, I've been looking for her." So I got a chance to introduce her to Danny. Both Danny and Alicia both had different opportunities to be on stage, and then those two became quick BFFs, which was amazing. And just to hear, you know, from women that are faced with different challenges than what you and I might face. And we're talking about, well, you know, I feel like I'm not heard, or I feel like I'm not this, or I'm not that. But it's like, yeah, now add on top of that the other things that we don't even think about. And so that was really humbling. And I was sitting here going, "Hey, would it be okay if I started like thinking about some biz dev ideas about how would something make your life more optimized? Like we should talk about that." And they're looking at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, is it appropriate for me to help? Because I'd love to." Um, so that was one thing. Two, on the panel that I moderated, I just want to give a quick shout out to Christine George because she just launched her business yesterday, Post and Beam, a marketing business and marketing company with her partner. And she was on the panel talking about delegation, which is that D word we've been using in here. Not Deborah, but delegation. And it was very exciting to just witness these beautiful women take all of that energy and put it into their own business. And it was fantastic. I'm excited to refer business to them. You should all look up Post and Beam. And let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to say. What was it? Oh, thank you for approving the scholarship recipients, because there was numerous women that I met that were so grateful to have that opportunity. And I will not use names, but one in particular was going through a very, very difficult time. Very, very difficult time. And many of you touch that woman's life and you don't even know it. And I just want to tell you that those intentional conversations, when someone asks for advice about something, or they maybe are very complimentary to you, and you take the time to actually listen to them and be a friend to them in that moment, even if you don't do it again, you made a difference. You may have saved somebody's lives, ladies. And so I just want you to know, like, this was big. And so I love this community. I love the opportunity to serve. I always want to serve no matter what, because this is the best place to be. So that's it. It was great.
That's so beautiful. I love that so much. And something that when you were talking about the ableism part, right? I think that we all kind of live life through our own filter, right? And we all have our own perspectives on, you know, what's just and what isn't, where we feel we're left out and where we're not, and where we have privilege and we don't even recognize it. It was really probably the most profound connection that I had with that whole conversation, Stacy, was this woman. I did not get her name, so she may even be here, but she came up to me and said that she was able, this was such a profound event to her, because she was able to send her daughter, who's in a wheelchair, a photo of two women on a stage in wheelchairs. And she could see herself now as somebody who could do that someday. Right. And again, because we had Danny and Alicia step up, raise their hands and say, "How can I serve? How can I help? I want to be part of this." The ripple effect of them being on stage in Huntington Beach reached a young girl miles and miles and miles away. And so it's so important. Again, I know sometimes I feel like a broken record, but I don't mind. Like, share your story, because it is affecting the next generation that aren't even in the room. They're not even there in the room. Oh, so good. Well, before you go, I do want to ask you, you did the move to Tulsa for this wild ride. What is your favorite thing about Tulsa so far?
Okay, first of all, I didn't know how absolutely diverse this little town is. Can I just tell you? So when I moved out here, I was accepted into a program. It's called Tulsa Remote, and it's to help bridge diversity and help stimulate an economy that was based on one type of industry, which was oil back in the day. And so now that that's really not a thing over there, things were drying up. So they were trying to diversify. But when I got to that orientation after being on the road from Woman Up, I walked in the room. I literally, I'm not even kidding, I started crying because I stepped into a room where I looked around and there was all people represented, from color of skin, from size to ability to religion. I mean, I felt like I was in my little dream bubble and I was so happy. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to leave now. So we'll see what happens. It was so great.
I love that. I
Everyone
love
should visit. I was so surprised. I was thinking that I had a totally different perspective of what I thought this town was versus what it is.
Mm,
So interesting, very interesting.
mm. So it happens to us as humans where we make assumptions, and it happens to us about even cities,
Yeah,
states,
yeah.
parties, all of it. Yeah. So getting to know it and having a personal connection is so important. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, let's see who is up next on my list. I think Sabrina is still uh, unavailable. So Bertina, can you hop on camera? Are you around? Ooh. Hi. Oh, we need you to unmute.
I'm unmuting. Yes, this is Mr. Haydon, who
Hello.
survived the 3 to 6 months. Say hi, ladies. We've been listening the whole time, and he's just been smiling and carrying on. So I didn't want us to be too distracted until I got a chance to talk. But I had to come on and just share that as a first-time attendee, and of course, being a speaker. What an amazing event. I am just so excited. The love that I have gotten from the women from being there, brings tears to my eyes. And I think what I find the most interesting is before I speak, or have a chance to get on stage, the conversations that I have with people, meeting people like Claudia and Pam at dinner and just at the wine tasting. And then I go on stage and I come off and they're like, what? Who are you and what? You didn't tell us. And I was like, well, I didn't think that's what we were supposed to do, right? I'm just being me. Everyone is being them. And it was just the best. And obviously, I have been completely excited that post this event, the request for me to come back to Cali or do something and speak at other events. So I actually just posted, I think last night, that I am coming back to Cali October 19th for a K-Rabs event, and we'll be speaking there. And I believe I'll be back sometime in early next year as well. But my real estate firm had a mastermind Wednesday, and they asked me to speak to the WomanUP event because they want, people go through different events throughout the summer, retreats and conferences, and they wanted to know about the WomanUP. So I had an opportunity to speak to, our 3 shops and share with them what the WomanUP conference is about, what they can expect, so that we can have more attendees want to be there next year. And be a part of this. And so I'm just overly excited about all the things that are to come, from this group and from this organization. And I just try to let everybody know about, the WomanUP event. And I cannot wait to get a copy of my video so I can begin to start posting that as well. And I think that will help for attracting more people to come to the event. So very excited.
Get Bertina her video, writing that down. Well, yeah, as you've heard since you've been here, Bertina, like your talk was incredibly powerful. It inspired so many of the attendees, and the social media shares about it in the moment and in the survey afterwards. We are so thankful that you brought your highest and best to the WomanUP stage. I'll say every single Engel and Volker's woman on stage
Yeah.
was like showing her power. Amy Powell was also on stage. For those of you, you've mentioned her a couple of times. She was the one that kind of went from incarceration to selling real estate without the car. And Martha Melendez, you all remember her story with the coffee can?
Yeah.
Like just these powerful stories that we were all kind of holding our breath as we were listening to. And, you know, something interesting, I actually had a conversation with Ariana yesterday, who was also on stage, who shared a bit about her story. What she shared, you know, it was so amazing that she was able to kind of drop the pretense and share the story, and that the response that she got was, wow, I had no idea that someone that looked like you could have those problems. And I thought, how profound that not only did somebody feel that way, but that they thought it was such a safe space to actually have that conversation with somebody that they saw as a celebrity, right? Like that speaks volumes to our community, that we can really open ourselves up and then have conversations like that with people that we had, you know, 17 levels of separation from before we walked into the room. And
yeah,
all of a
and
sudden,
Deborah, I just wanted to say, somebody said something earlier about sharing, and we've said this before when we were little kids. Sharing is caring, right? And so the sharing of these stories, in essence, that's exactly what we're doing. We are caring about the other people that are in the audience by letting them know that. And I am over the top. Several of you bought the book. So when you get to the chapter, Power of Resources, that's what delegation is all about, is just tapping into these other places and being okay with letting go of these responsibilities and these duties that you believe and that others have told you you should do, when you know that you can be much better and someone else can benefit from it if you let them take over the job. So thank you, everybody. Say bye, Hayden. And I saw a couple of chats come up. I'm just gonna go back off camera. So, but we love you all. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see the power couple here. Comment, Sabrina. You too. I think one of the things I love about Kama and Sabrina, before we bring Sabrina to the mic, is that you two have mastered the art of lifting one another up. And it's like, ooh, Sabrina posted about Kama. Oh, Kama posted about Sabrina. What are they talking about? Like, you two are truly sisters in arms when you are talking about, when we're talking about this idea of woman up and really truly helping each other rise to the next level. Sabrina, you have been on the stage, I think, nearly every year in some way, shape, or form. And so I'm really excited to hear what your wisdom, like the highlights of wisdom that you kind of took with you this year were, and what action you were inspired to take.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's interesting. So I mean, I think every year it is just that we all are going through things, but we all have that person that is going to lift us up. If it's not one person, it's many. And I think the biggest thing for me is coming there and feeling like that I'm in a safe place to be going through whatever I'm going through, and that's okay. And connecting with other women that want to actually see other women succeed. You know, not all spaces have that feeling, you know, and so I think just coming, you know, I've come every year, I'll be there every year, whether I'm on stage or not, I will be there because I love the message. I love the feeling. I love the women that are there because the women show up there to support each other. And when you talk about Kama and I met through Women's Council. And now you cannot be, I mean, yeah, we're, whatever it is, I know Kama has my back. I'm like, oh, Kama has my back. I have her back. And there's nothing that we cannot accomplish. And we know that now because we know that we have that person in our corner. And that's what we're all looking for, to have that person or persons in our corner. Just like I feel like WomanUP is in the corner of every woman out there. WomanUP is a place for every woman It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. WomanUP is there for you. And so I think that's why it's such a successful space and place, is because it is a true space for women to empower each other, to lift each other up, and truly mean that when they say it and do it. And there's so many other women that I've met through WomanUP that it's not just it's not just but there are many other women through WomanUP that I have met that have helped me along the way. And I am truly appreciative of the space.
I love that. Well, and you are getting ready. Is it next month that you are getting ready to be, what is the word that Women's Council uses when you step into the royal presidency role?
She's being installed.
I'm getting installed. I am getting installed as the president for Women's Council California. And yeah, and that's possible because of the women that were around me that seen something in me that I probably didn't see in myself. And they motivated me and they pushed me and they supported me. And they said, you can do it, go do it, and you're going to make a difference. And I want to say, for the one man that truly pushed me there was my husband. He says, it's bigger than yourself. He said, go do it. He says, people need to see, he says, they need to see that if you can do it, anybody can do it. It's bigger than you. Suck it up and go do it.
Well, you've been wonderful about sharing what a great partner he is. And, we've heard over the years how important it is to be surrounded by people who do see, see the things in us that we haven't even recognized yet. And the power of having a partner that in particular that does. And you are a shining example of that for sure. And I want to make sure that everyone, when we say like WomanUP is a place for everyone, that we remember that WomanUP is us, is the individuals. It's not the logo. It's not the event. It's the humans. It's the soulful leaders who are right here with all of us. And that it's not this big scary entity. It's you and me, right? And that's the magic, is that we find somebody that we connect with, somebody's story that kind of sounds like ours. And wow, we haven't reached the victory mark yet, but if they can do it, I can do it. And so if somebody out there is feeling inspired and is like, gosh, I want to know more about Sabrina or Natalie or Annette or Rhonda or Danelle or Stacy. I feel like Miss Nancy right now. Reach out to them and have a conversation. I mean, one of the powerful pieces of the community is that we are all open to being mentored and to being a mentor. And so that's like, reach out, don't be shy. It's absolutely 100% what this community is about. All right, I see Miss Elizabeth. Did you have a question, or do you want to share about something that happened?
Well, I'm kind of new to your world. I haven't had a chance to attend the conference. I've had my real estate license for 15 years, but last year activated. I've been a chiropractor all these years, and that's got some changes in the works that I need to deal with. And I've had my husband in the hospital, who was the other chiropractor in my world, for 6 months. So that's one of those things that you guys mentioned. What I thought kind of resonated, which was maybe perhaps worth sharing with your group, was the contrast that I see with your energy from what I experienced when I first became a realtor back in late 2000s, and also what I've seen in the chiropractic world with women chiropractors. And for interesting contrast, there is no female to female support system within the chiropractic community. Each woman considers herself an island to herself. It's competitive between all of us. The only I've attended conferences for continuing ed, for example, And literally the only women I've talked to in the course of a 12-hour day, where you're up every hour to go to the bathroom and take a break, has been people that have left the profession. They were the only ones willing to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been dealing with it since 1992, and I have 0 chiropractic female friends.
Yeah. That is
Wow.
the power of this community. That's for sure. We break down that right away.
I can introduce you to a fantastic female chiropractor who's holistic and fabulous and lifts women up. I will totally connect you with her, Elizabeth. You need to know more people like that.
Yeah, it's just, and then of course I had kind of a, a husband with husband-like qualities, so I was his subordinate, and the characteristic, you're no good kind of qualities that came from that kind of a situation are still, rotating around my brain. And then of course the challenges of any kind of a business. So I do come in with mixed feelings of, yes, I can do it, but I have my doubts. So
So what are you vision casting for 2023 that this strong, bold, amazing community can help you with?
well, I guess I don't know exactly. I guess you guys do the 2:00 on Friday afternoon programs. That's kind of the extent of my understanding, other than you just had a conference.
Yes, we get together on the group. You can check out all of our past episodes of the show over on IamWomanUp.com. That's for anybody listening. We have a podcast that is starting to grow. And so there's lots of ways that you can soak in the hot, messy middle stories, the victory stories, that I have no idea where to start stories. And everything in between each one of those stages. That is the power. And I appreciate you sharing, Elizabeth. It's a great reminder, right? That we have come a long way inside this industry where women they had a feeling of being alone. They had a feeling of not being welcome in our National Association of Realtors, which is, of course, why Women's Council of Realtors exists. That's why they started to create a space for women. And, that is the core of why we're here together, is to circle around each other and remind each other, not only are we amazingly worthy, but we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to be an island unto ourselves. All right, we are at the top of the hour, actually +3. So I am so grateful for everybody who joined us. Is anybody who's here that did not get a chance to share their highlights? I think I got everyone.
Did Sandra want to say something?
She said no on text, but Sandra, if you want to say something, speak now, or for hell hold your peace. I think she's good. Renee, did you want to say something? Yes, go for it.
Yes, because I got to share my highlights, or all of our highlights, but I didn't get to speak about really what's inspired me or action to take. But I can say, if I could say real quickly, in the last 2 days, I've been deep in meetings with our city of Santa Clarita, different stakeholders here, as we have discussions about affordable housing and the homelessness and what we're trying to do here. I've been learning so much. And instead of wondering, why am I in this discussion? Why am I sitting at the table? Really, from all of you, I've been like, of course I can be here. Of course I have a voice, like Claudia talked about earlier. Of course, what I say is bringing something to the table. And we're talking about money and sources and finding things. I'm like, well, I mean, like I said before, I have faith. I believe God has put me in all these positions to see and understand and not be afraid to speak. And he's bringing people to me and things and opportunities. So I want to thank all of you for inspiring me to not feel that I don't belong in that room too. So thank you.
That's so good. I love that. I think what I'd like to leave everyone with before we say goodbye is anybody who attended, if you didn't pop up on stage with us and share your highlights, if you want to share them with us later, if you want to send us an email, if anyone wants to write a recap blog post or share your highlights for the blog, we would love to do that. our platform is your platform. And so if there is something that just really impacted you and it has changed the trajectory or how you think about certain things, we'd love to be able to help you tell your story. So do not be shy. We have platforms for you to do that on the website. IamWomanUp.com/share your story is where you start. If you want to pick up the Woman Up mic, that is the first place to go. Again, that's IamWomanUp.com/share your story. That is a beautiful place for you to introduce yourself to us. As far as the next 3 months, we are going to have a beautiful combination of group conversations. Leslie is doing a monthly coffee and conversation. So one in October, one November, one in December. We are actually going to revisit some of the circle up session conversations that we had at the event. So we're going to be talking about business planning. We're going to be talking about intentional business marketing. We're going to be talking about your next season and how to step into that confidently. So we're going to visit some of those conversations that we had at the event for those of you who missed it. So like if you're feeling a little FOMO after today, don't worry, we're going to do some highlights. And then of course, we're going to have a couple of shine a light on her discussions with some of the women who have shared their stories who were not able to be with us on stage. So until next week, we want to again say thank you so much for joining us. If you know somebody in your world that you really believe would be so enlightened and edified by being part of our community, we would deeply appreciate you introducing them to us. It can be by inviting them on the Facebook group or sending them to IamWomanUp.com to join the mailing list. But don't keep us a secret. Like Kama said, we shouldn't be the greatest kept secret inside real estate. Like, we're not for everyone. We are not for everyone, but we know that the women and the men who are meant to be at our table are connected to you in some way, shape, or form. That's why you're here. So go out there, share the word. And we look forward to seeing everybody here again next week, Friday at 2:00 Pacific time. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye. Be
Bye.
safe. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Bettina.
Bye, Bertina. Hi, baby.